And today's vlog, I think I'm gonna rant a little again. It's a really chilly day, kind of damp, a little muddy. Didn't want to get up for my morning walk, but you know what? I got up anyway, and I just got out here, and I thought my cranky mood would change by being out in the nature, and also, now that I think about it, I think this rant might be therapeutic. So here's the deal. Over the last 3 months, I've traveled a lot. If you've watched my social grid, you probably have seen me taking a lot of selfies with people, meeting a lot of people on the road, getting a chance to sit down with people who have seen me and known me on social, but never in person. And so the customary thing is to trade notes as to, hey, what are you doing? What's your venture about? Where are you? What's your stage? Basically, entrepreneur chit chat. And some of those conversations lead to follow-up conversations, video conferences, because sometimes I offer coaching and consulting to start ventures and entrepreneurs, etc. And one of the things that I've come across consistently this month, and I've had 3 of them happen this week, it's not even the end of the week yet, is that I've met entrepreneurs that are in a vocation, a chosen vertical industry, that are struggling, and yet they're blaming anything and everybody else except for themselves. Hey, let me pause here one moment. This is one of 3 falls. It's a tiny little fall here in the forest. Makes me smile already. So one of the things that I've met is an accountant who has trouble with the underpinnings of his business. He's complaining that the fundamentals of his business just don't make business sense. He said expenses are out of control, doesn't know how to contain them, can't keep track of certain type of expenses. And I'm like, dude, you're an accountant. If you can't get your business in order, how can you convince others to trust you with their accounting, right? It turns out he's actually gotten his CPA online and invested in like $15,000 in like business development and online venture courses, entrepreneurship courses. And obviously they're not working out right. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against distance-based learning or communities, etc. I've been a church online pastor, so I'm completely committed to the idea of remote relationship development, remote learning, counseling, teaching, mentoring, etc. But the point here is, if you're not able to perform the basics of your own vocation, how are you going to go out and convince others for you to do it for them? I've met a social media expert, supposedly. The LinkedIn title says social media expert. And yet she's asking me, how does she get clients? How does she get visibility? She can't find clients to talk to. Why not use social media? You're the expert. Aren't you going to be hired or pitched that people pay you to use social media to find them? Why don't you use social media to find customers for yourself? Check this out. This is the second waterfall on this walk. So we'll just camp out here for a second. I met another entrepreneur who's doing it all. We know you need to niche down, specialize, focus on one offering to one audience for one promotion, and just start there. And yet he's refusing to do that. He says he's so multi-talented that he has to do everything, and that it is his client's fault, honestly, because they keep hiring him for all these other things than just one thing. They keep hiring from random things. They're not in a pattern. And so it's because of his clients he can't niche down. Completely false approach, right? So I think there's 3 things that are happening here right now. One is that technology has democratized everything, right? Everyone with a DSLR camera, it just all of a sudden has become a professional wedding photographer. Just because you can do it doesn't mean that you should do it. Just because you can do it doesn't mean that you're doing it well. So many things that involve technology today actually need craftsmanship, artisan experience behind what you do. You can't just immediately set up shop just because it's available to you. Second reason is that entrepreneurship right now has become glamorous. It's the soup du jour. No one wants to work for big corporate America, the man, right? No one wants to be in rush hour. They wanted to be able to do this, come out and take a morning walk every day on their time. The thing is, just because it's glamorous doesn't mean that it's easy. The last thing is everyone picks on the millennial generation. It's not, it's everybody today. I call it the M culture, and it's the microwave culture. Everyone thinks that they're entitled to the results of what typically comes after a long series of hard effort. They want it now. They think they can get it now. It's business in a box. And so the 10,000 hour rule doesn't come into play for most people, not conceptually in their mind, but really those types of old established axioms still hold true today. You need to put in the time, you need to put in the work, you need to fail a million times before you have that success. It's no longer like this microwave type of results where you just, buy a course and all of a sudden get instant results. It just doesn't happen that way. And the fourth one, here's a bonus, is that everyone thinks the bar is so low to enter into so many fields. It happens in real estate, it happens in law, and it's happening in digital marketing too, right? The bar is so low because there's no real high standard or accreditation. Anyone can just type up a LinkedIn profile and call themselves a digital consultant or social media guru or expert or specialist. That's the problem today. You can't get the results immediately. You have to put in the work. You have to do things the right way, in sequence, in order. You can't just say they're my rules, I make them up, and then expect instant success. And you see that not just in one vocation, almost every vocation, even the church. You see people throwing mud at seminary, saying that formal education isn't worth it, it's outdated, it's totally useless. And yet, you need to understand tradition and history and legacy, and you need to have structure and the fundamentals in order to iterate, innovate, and move forward. We've lost this idea of apprenticeship, the value of internship, of mentorship, of learning, structure, tradition, fundamentals. I think everything has gone the way of digital, saying that, hey, we've got information at our fingertips and that's enough. And I'm saying, no, that's not enough. There's something to be said about perfecting your craft, about putting your head down, putting your nose to the grindstone, and really trying to understand the intricacies of your vocation and the work at hand so that you become a master at what you do. Just-in-time learning or staying just one step ahead of your customers so that you can charge them that arbitrage is great. You can make a quick buck, but I am telling you, it is not sustainable. The last rant I think is just incredible. It's just the attitude. It's this entitlement that says that starting a new business, a new venture, should supply everything that you need material within a 9-to-5 construct, saying that, hey, I turn off all of my devices at 5, I need to spend time with my wife, my family, my girlfriend, etc. And I can't work on weekends because I don't want to sacrifice that. You can live that lifestyle and put that as a general rule of life for you, but then don't speak out of the other side of your mouth and saying that your business isn't doing well, you're struggling to meet end to end, and then blame every single other thing for your lack of success. Particularly, I hate it when people are just playing victim in the entrepreneurship game and saying that everything is out of their control. You got to stop playing victim and start trying to figure out the variables. I'm not advocating a life like Gary Vee, where he literally sleeps, eats, breathes business 24 hours a day and maybe takes a break to take his children to ballet or classes or do something once in a while. That's his choice, and it's also might be something for a season of life. But what I'm saying is that there's something in between that Gary Vee hustle and the absolute entitlement that I'm seeing in the cases that have come in front of me, one after another in this recent month and a half, with the half a dozen entrepreneurs that are struggling, and they can't understand why they're struggling, and they're just blaming anything and everything else. And here's a mind-blowing concept that you might entertain. Maybe you're not an entrepreneur. It's okay. Not everyone needs to work for themselves. It's okay for finding a team, a venture, a corporation, an organization to work for, contribute together and multiply the effect, where you say together we do more impact, more reach, more sales, more profit, a better lifestyle. It's okay to work for somebody. Well, thanks for hearing me out today on today's rant. I guess it took me a couple minutes, but it's boiling down to I'm just sick and tired of people who choose denial instead of discipline for their business. They point to everyone else as the problem instead of pointing their business in another direction. If what you've been doing hasn't been working, maybe it's time to try something different instead of doing the same thing over and over again and just changing the blame. This is a topic for another video, maybe talk about it tomorrow. But I firmly believe these entrepreneurs are in isolation. They're not in relationship with other peers who are invested in their success. Formally, for a business, it might be a board of trustees, could be an advisory board, it could be a round table, it could be a mastermind. That's what I've chosen to do over this last 2 years. It could be conferences. You need to get out of your bubble and speak with peers, have them as a sounding board, and really develop relationships with others in your industry and outside of your industry so that you can get a variety of perspectives to help you make the right decisions as an entrepreneur. It's lonely being an entrepreneur. And so we need to constantly fight against that. And community is one of the best ways that I think you can do that. Even this video series, some of you have actually reached out to me directly. We've had conversations. Some of you have left comments below. I actually wish that a lot of you that have messaged me directly would actually leave comments here publicly, because it is so helpful for others to know that you are thinking the same thoughts, you are processing the same ideas, you are going through the same struggles. We need community, and social media is prime for that, and public visibility of comments really goes toward that end. So anyway, the bottom line is, don't do entrepreneurship alone, don't call yourself a victim, and choose to move forward in a different direction if things aren't working together. I'm here for comments, I'm here for direct messages. Let's continue this conversation tomorrow here on the Daily KJ TV vlog. In the meantime, remember, be social. Put comments below, share, like, and discuss this with somebody else. And stay social. Be consistent.